All right. So we're recording. By the way, if you haven't checked out, you can watch all the previous trainings that we've had on the YouTube channel. So definitely take a look at that. But like I said, overall, today's training is going to be a lot focused on principles that are taught in Money Pro and principles that you can really apply today to become wealthier tomorrow. And I'm not kidding, because if you have a proper plan, trading plans are important, but also money management plans are really key. Because if you don't know how to manage your money properly, it's going to be really difficult for you to ever, you know, you're gonna still find yourself living paycheck to paycheck. Even if that's in this business, you're going to wait for every commission week to have money because you're not going to be able to pay for things. And trust me, that's not what you want. So we're going to get this thing started. But let me know where everyone is tuning in from. I want to see, we got some, I think it's a lot of North Americans on this call, right? I think a Dutch name, but let's see. Let me see the chat. And guys, do me a favor. Let's get some more people in here. Drop some screenshots. This is a training that, trust me, like obviously you can watch the recording, but it's going to be really important for you to see it live. And I think that's going to be really, really cool. Okay. So we got Colorado, Edmonton, Netherlands. There we go. I was right. That's the name that I was seeing. But okay, let's, there we go. Okay, so what's up, team? Hope you're doing well. I was actually just jotting some notes down earlier on what I wanted to talk about. And I said I can go into a trading training like I did last time with Forex, because that was really cool and a lot of you really enjoyed that. But I also thought to myself, I'm like, I know people, and a lot of people have spoken to me personally about the principle of, just making sure that you have money, especially with trading, and like just having money left over. Because I'll tell you a story that happened to me when I was first starting in this business. And I made around $10,000 in Forex from a $1,000 account in my first 3 months. And at that time, that was like a big deal, because many people at the time were just kind of getting started. No one in their 20s, or no one in general, was getting involved into the markets. Crypto was still pretty new. And I thought I was on top of the world. But the thing is, I said this on the last training I did, good results reinforce bad behavior. And those good results were reinforcing the bad behaviors that I had, which was, over leveraging on my trades or being too greedy. When I'd lose, I'd place another position so I can make up the loss. I was pretty much gambling. I was treating it like, I'm actually wearing a Vegas shirt, which is funny. But I was treating it like the casinos. And that's not a good position you want to find yourself in. So there's one thing that I heard, which obviously all of you probably heard, with Robert Kiyosaki, The Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad Poor Dad, two amazing books that teach the principles of how to make money. And one of them was obviously having money work for you. And yes, we have amazing platforms, trading. We have, all the trading platforms and alerts and education that we have for all of you. And we also have the, business model, which pays so much for people that really want to share this thing. But those are active streams of income. Okay. And I want to make a huge distinction between the two things. There's active forms of income, and then there's passive forms of income. Okay. And I don't think I need to explain that, but active forms of income are incomes that you are constantly working for, whether that's you're trading time for money. Even in trading, if you are always trading yourself, obviously you have the ability to have money work at a much better pace, and you're not trading time. You're not trading time for a specific amount of money, but you're still trading time for money. Does that make sense? Drop a 2 if that makes sense. I need you to understand that. So yes, trading is great. And honestly, I love it. But there's so much more that you have to understand if you really want to become wealthy. If you want to have a lot of money in the bank account, if you want to have a lot of money invested, if you want to have a lot of money to do whatever you want and not have to rely on a single day of work or commissions or one trading day to really be able to afford the lifestyle that you want. So I'm going to go over 5 key tips. So make sure you have your notes ready, because these are going to be awesome. I don't need to draw these out. I can just explain them. And by explaining it, you'll understand it. And this really personally helped me from going from making $10,000 and then losing that really quick just through my spending habits, to obviously building my income to where it is now. And I don't even care about my income. More so, I'm more proud of the fact that I budgeted myself, I've invested myself, so I have money everywhere in case I ever need it for whatever reason. Let's just say, I don't know, the business is slowing down, or my day trading isn't doing well, which I haven't had to worry about because we're doing so amazing as a team and the company is so good at what they do. But tip number 1 is you got to make sure that you are giving yourself a financial checkup. Okay, so what does that mean? A financial checkup is something that, let me put it like this. It's like an inventory of where you're at today. And this is going to really wake up some of you because it really woke me up. One assignment that I want to give you with point number one, being a financial checkup, is I want you to do that today. Okay, so all of you, I don't care if you're building the business full time, you're day trading, whatever you're doing, if you're just a customer or you're a builder, I want you to do a financial checkup today. I want you to list all the expenses that you have on a monthly basis, not just essentials like groceries and, you know, whatever you need, like to take care of yourself, like grooming, health care, whatever. Like I'm talking essentials plus subscriptions that you have, you know, those guilty pleasures that you have. Maybe you have a Netflix subscription or Disney Plus, or you have, I don't know, Amazon Prime or Apple Arcade, who knows what you have, but, or gym membership, whatever subscriptions you have, plus the essentials, any expenses that you have in general. I want you to write these things down to see how much money is coming out of your bank account every single month. Does that make sense? So once you keep this in mind and you have all of these things written down, you begin to realize how much you're actually spending and what you can cut down. I had subscriptions to like applications that I would use for making, you know, flyers and content and stuff that I used to use that I don't need anymore because now we have a marketing team that takes care of that for us. So I didn't realize I was paying those months on end. I think I was paying for one service that I had to cancel yesterday actually, and I was paying it for a year and I didn't realize how much money was coming out of my account. And I was like, wow, okay, these are things that you have to make sure you're on top of. And even though I make sure of that, it's always good to just, you know, recheck your expenses and what you're doing. So I recommend to, number one, have a financial checkup. Okay. So are we going to do that today, team? Are we going to do that? Step number one. I need all of you to do that before I can even talk about the rest. I need you to commit to that. Casper is the only one. Amazing. Okay. Masha, Megan, Allison, Bianca, especially those of you coming to Florida, especially with expenses like you have, you know, at the moment. Oh man, the breeze is so nice. Let's open the store. But especially those of you that are going to be spending a lot of money very soon, it's really good to, especially in times like these, where you're, you know, you're traveling or doing whatever you have to do, that you have everything set up so that, you know, of course, I expect all of your incomes to increase next month, but also, you know, that your expenses are probably increasing as well. So that's number one, financial checkup. Number two is set aside money to invest. And, you know, people have a saver's mindset. Even when they get into business or they get into investing, for some reason, they treat investing as something that they have to, it's not in your rhythm. Like all of you every single day are not in practice of, you know, setting aside money to maybe invest it every single week or every single month. You just grab whatever money you think you have available and you're like, okay, let me throw it into the market and hope for the best. But what you want to be doing is you want to have a set budget every single month for trading. So one thing that I've done with the stock market, especially the stock market, which we don't talk about a lot, but I'm actually pretty like heavily invested into the stock market, and I use our alerts for that. But one thing that I've done, you know, with crypto, more for crypto and stocks more so than Forex, but even Forex, I might do it every now and then, is I have a set amount of money every single month that I put into these markets, and I always put them into specific things. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to tell you specifically what you can invest in, but I will suggest certain things at the end. But I say have a number in your head that you can commit to every single week if you're really good. If not, you know, set it every single month if you're just starting up for the first time. I know committing weekly might be a little bit tough, but think about it this way. You don't need to have $100 a week. You could do $25 a week. You know what I mean? Maybe sacrifice one meal at at your favorite fast food place and put it towards some investments, because the compounding that you get from that, I know it's not a lot of money, but over time you're building a lot. And I really recommend that you do that. Like, I think the perfect plan for anyone that wants to really build something long term, you do $500 a month for the rest of your life. You're in a really good place, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, so at number two, like I said, is set aside money to invest. There's a lot of great platforms to invest in, you know, obviously with us, but even within what we do, there are other things that you can invest in all of these exchanges that you've heard of, or all of these brokers. So let me give you an example. How many of you have heard of staking, like crypto staking? It's pretty much like what we do with Enda, but it's just for other cryptos. So one thing that you can get into the habit of is with crypto staking, you can actually put money into something, and it's kind of like a contract, okay? And this money is set aside to gain you a certain percentage. You have a contract where you hold this money in this crypto for a certain amount of time, and you're guaranteed to make this much. That's a different form of investing. Obviously, you have trading, and you have, you know, the people that are holding long term, just based on the market. But there's different ways to make money. Even with stocks, one thing I do is I invest into growth companies, growth stocks, but I also invest into like ETFs, which are baskets of companies that grow over time, and they're very, very consistent. But I just say have a number in your head, because having that number in your head makes sure that you are consistent with your investing. That you don't want to be that person that invests $1,000 one month and then like you don't invest another 1,000 until 6 months later. That's not. I mean, that's cool, but you don't really have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, what do they say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That doesn't just apply to our business. That also applies for investing. Okay. If you understood number 2, drop number 2 in the chat. By the way, if you have any questions, you guys can feel free to ask, because I know that some of you might be, especially for the beginners. By the way, welcome to all the new people. I see so many. Let me see the cameras. I see Megan, Naomi, Masha, Allison, Caspera. Look at where are the guys? What happened? The guys are shy today. Y'all got to put your makeup on or what? No, I'm kidding. So that's number 2, and I hope that makes sense, especially if you're someone that's beginning to invest for the first time. You're definitely not in the habit and developing that routine. It's kind of like muscle memory. Like if you're not used to going to the gym, you start going to the gym, you know how you get really sore. You just got to keep going. Take some rest, but keep going, and you'll get used to it. Your body will get used to it. So it's the same with investing. Tip number 3, you got to have a weekly or monthly trading plan, which I kind of said. I kind of got too excited. I went into number 3 already. But the principle is number 2, set aside money to invest, and number 3, have a weekly and monthly trading plan. So what does this mean? You should have a journal. I recommend everyone buy a journal just for your investing and trading. Like don't just like have it in your head or in your brokers. Actually commit to getting a notebook where you can write all these things down. This day at this time, I invested $1,000 into Ethereum. Maybe the next week I went into NFTs. I bought a few NFTs. The week after that, I invested into the S&P 500. Whatever the case is, you got to really document this, because you want to look back at what mistakes you made. It helps with taxes too. Yeah, exactly. And that's definitely something that helped me, because I suck with that. I'm the kind of guy that's years behind on taxes, like all the time, but not anymore. not anymore, because we fixed stuff. I have all my stuff ready there all the time. Now it's just a matter of actually going to the accountant and doing my stuff. But weekly or monthly trading plan, okay? So just making sure that you have documentation of when you're investing, what you're investing in. And by the way, alerts, this will look a bit different, because you have your trading journal and maybe an investing journal. What's the difference? I mean, they're both pretty much the same, but trading, how's the best way to put this? All investing is not trading, right? Trading is a form of investing. And if you want to have a trading journal and then an investing journal, that's cool, because investing is more passive, whereas trading is more active. Oh, that's a good tip. Trading is more active, whereas investing is more passive. Like you could just put money in and wait years, and that's passive income. Whereas, day trading, that's more active, because you got to commit to actually, putting in the time to do that. But that's number 3. Number 4, we're going to go into 2 different types of, this is like, now we're getting into my advice. Here's what you can do starting today. I mean, aside from the journals and the checkup that you want to do, number 4, what I would say to do is have an idea of what you're going to trade in, and don't trade in everything right away, because as a beginner, you're going to get really confused, because, oh my gosh, there's options trading for stocks. There's options trading for Forex. There's Forex trading. There's crypto trading. There's NFT flipping. Like there's so many things that you can do. And a lot of people might get confused. And trust me, it's kind of like what Chad Garner was saying on the Rich Call. It's almost a downside with our platform. Here's the negative about our platform. The negative is that there's so much. And that's like the best negative to have. It's like imagine, it's like, you go to a job interview. What's your biggest weakness? Oh, I'm good at too many things. I have too many skill sets and I can't focus on one. That's a pretty bad negative. I mean, that's a pretty good negative to have. We have a lot of things that you can use, which makes it confusing, but that's why I come here and other leaders come here that have used this for a long time. And we can tell you that it's just really about focusing on one, moving on to the rest, and then you'll be good. Like I started off in Forex. You don't have to. I mean, if I was brand new, I'd probably start off in crypto, but I happened to start off in Forex because crypto wasn't that big when I was, starting off. I didn't hear much about it. iGenius didn't really have a crypto section. That came later on. But yeah, I mean, I started off with that. So I would recommend focus on trading if you want to get into the alerts and all that. Some of you might not want to do that. You just want to do passive investing through Endotech or Endow or your own stuff that you learn from our platform. But if you're going to be trading, focus on one market only, one market. So either binary options, either Forex, either NFTs, because yes, you can technically trade NFTs because you can just flip them if you want to be that kind of person. Like flip them quick, like Jay, our expert, or you can get into stock, stock trading. And stock trading is a whole other thing that I love doing. There's day trading for stocks, and there's a lot of you probably don't know that there's so many different forms of stock investing that I love. And personally, I mean, it was pretty much most of the time, it's my favorite market. Because I'm very into long-term stuff. I did the whole day trading. I did the whole scalp trading, which is like really quick minute by minute trading. And I like it, but I'm someone who wants to just really leverage my time. Anytime that I'm not spending investing, I'm just creating content, working on the business, getting on calls with all of you, doing these things. So yeah, that's number 4, is just focus on trading, but only in one market. So have a focus, have a specialty. It's like, let me relate it to my medical degree, or not. Well, I guess it was kind of, I went into biomedical science, obviously. And one thing that you get into once you go into the practice, before you get into the practice, you have to go through pretty much every field. Like you go into cardiology, you go into neurology, you go into general surgery. Like if you want to become a surgeon, right? You test all the different things, and then you end up picking what you focus on, your specialty. So in this case, you're getting a taste of all the markets based on the content we post and also what's exposed in the chats. But I want you to pick a specialty and then focus on that, because if you focus on one, you're going to be really good at it. Is that cool? Everyone, drop your specialty. What's your favorite market that you want to focus on? From today on, what's the market you want to focus on? I think Casper said binary. How about everyone else? I started in binary. If I could go back, I would have started in crypto. Yeah, I mean, it just depends what you want, right? It depends what you want. Someone's saying crypto. What else? Also, binary trading. A lot of you like the binary trading, right? You guys love the fast results. They get rich quick. It's okay. I like binary too. Number 5 is compounding. So here are some investment tips. Don't take this. This is not financial advice. I'm not a professional trader. We leverage the experts, but things that I really do to make sure that I have money available at all times. So picture this. Imagine, I don't know, for whatever reason, your job, you lose your job. Like maybe I know some of you are working right now. What would happen today if you lost your job? Obviously, without iGenius in the picture, I'll tell you what would happen to me if I lost my job that I had so long ago. If I lost my job and I didn't have iGenius, yeah, I'd be dead in the water. Exactly. I would have these expenses that I can't afford anymore. I would need to find a job real quick, but in how the world is today, it's a bit more complicated. And there's so many things going on. And, we're getting replaced by machines. We can't even be cashiers anymore because the self-checkout machines do it for us. You know what I mean? Like it's different. And if you're someone who's in a profession, I mean, it gets even harder because, there's limited space. Usually the supply is a lot higher than the demand, right? So you got to find a place. So you're screwed. Now, here's what happens with iGenius. Because if you lost your job today, I'd hope that it wouldn't be the end of the world for you. And why do I say that? Because 1, you have a tool where you can actually start building a business and making a ton of money. And number 2, you also have a tool that prepares you to be financially prepared for these kind of situations. That doesn't just mean day trading, because what happens if you lose your income? You cannot put more money into day trading anymore. But how cool would it be if you had money invested? If, let's say, let me look at the cameras again. Let's say Allison invested, I don't know, a couple $1,000s this month, and then and she's investing consistently every single month. And then a year down the line, she loses her job, but now she has a lot of investments that she can lean back to, for a rainy day. It shouldn't get to that, but if it does, you have money there. Like there were so many times where I budget myself a certain way, right? So I'm always checking to see if I have any leaks in my financial pipeline. And there were situations, during my journey in entrepreneurship where I was like, I need money for this, but my commission checks aren't enough. And I'd be like, wait, but I invested into Ethereum when it was like a couple $100s, and look at it now. Even though it's gone down since the peak, I invested at like $100 or $200, I've made a pretty good return. I'm not even kidding. There was one time I'd invested like $50 into Shiba Inu, which is not a financial recommendation at all because that's a meme coin. I knew the risk I was going into. I was willing to lose $50, but it turned into $2,000. And I remember I wanted to do something, but my commission checks weren't high. So I'm like, oh well, I have some money here that I can use for this, and I know I'll pay it back because I know what my checks look like. But eventually, I've gotten to the point where I could lose my income today and I would be fine. And I think that's a situation you all want to be in, because you don't want to just use this platform as, especially if you're paying the monthly fees, you don't want to use it and just, it's like, what's the point? You clearly didn't learn anything if you lose your income and you are not good. You are not ready to handle that. That's the point of iGenius, if you really want to know. iGenius is not about making a ton of money in trading. iGenius is not about just building a business in social media. iGenius is about building wealth. And building wealth is, it comes down to all of these things that I mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It comes down to all these things. So I wanted to go on today and talk about that because, one, I knew I wasn't going to be home, so I needed to find an excuse to be able to just talk and not share slides. But I really thought, I'm like, you know what, though? It's almost a blessing in disguise because I get to talk about things that no one's talking about right now. And I think a lot of you have never heard these kind of things. And I've gone deep into, personal development, into wealth building, like not just the business and not just trading. I've really gone deep into wealth building mentalities and just listening to people talk about it, very successful people. So all the knowledge that I have that I've learned over the last couple of years, I just broke it down for you in 5 steps. And if you really apply this, then like I said, you can apply this today and become wealthier tomorrow. It's that simple. And that's something that it's not an income claim. It's not anything because it has to do with you. You have a lot more money than you probably think you have, but you're just not using it the right way. Okay. I think that's a good way to end it off. So, like I said, that was recorded, so you can catch the replay back on YouTube. I think this was a fire training. If I do say so myself, drop some fire or ones if you think it was a dope training. And let's get some more. Okay, cool. Megan, I love it. Just Megan. Thank you. It's okay. At least it impacted one person. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Either way, like I said, some of you will apply this, some of you won't, but the ones that apply it, a year from now, I'm going to be like, damn, you have more money than me now. You know what I mean? If you really take it seriously. And so don't have any limiting beliefs, really apply this thing. It's going to work wonders for you. But yeah, this was me tuning in live. What time is it? 3:30. So it's like a quick training, 30-minute training, not even. But yeah, let's work on this. Let's, become wealthier together. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.